All right, hello, welcome to the weather update. It's about a little after 9 o'clock on March 2nd, 2023, and another day full of clouds again. You can see a front that is stalled off to the south here, and cold air, dry air trying to get in, but you can see the next system is already approaching, and if we go and we look at the next system here on the CONUS view, let's go to the CONUS view. Let's do this one. Because there's a lot of severe weather going on in Oklahoma and Texas tonight, and also up here as well. So you can see here, again, there's that front kind of stalled out, so it kind of matches up with what we're seeing in the weather map here. You see there's your stalled front, low pressure riding along it, severe weather. Low pressure offshore here. A weak low off Nova Scotia there. And you can see there's another front over there. And then, yes, another system coming down into the west as well. Looking at this outbreak with severe weather, you can see there's lots and lots of lightning here going from Arkansas down into Oklahoma and Texas. You can see, so this is severe weather. And if we look at the Storm Prediction Center, here you'll see there's moderate risk here in this area, so very active amount of risk here. We got tornado watches, severe thunderstorm watches, and we already had 6 reports of tornadoes today, according to this. So we've already had 6 reports of tornadoes from this line, and you'll see here as we go into the AccuWeather here, you'll see the dangerous severe weather outbreak. Tornado warning issued for Dallas. So there's been tornado warning, power outages as well, surging from these storms. Residents in disbelief. Here is a look at a tornado here in it looks like in Texas. That's a huge tornado right there that they're showing. So yeah, it's a huge mess right now going on right now. So if we go look at the power outage map here, we'll see. Oh, look at that. Texas already, look at all the damage these storms are causing. 345,000 customers already out. Dallas, 106,000 customers out of power already from these storms. So quite a severe storm that wound up hitting Dallas. California, we still have outages as well. Looking at this map here, you'll see a lot of color on this map here, all right? You'll see all the winter storm warnings out west. It's starting to fade a little bit, but there's another storm coming in there. We've got red flag warnings, I guess, behind this front. High wind warnings behind in Texas. And here we go. Numerous tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings. Actually, it looks like there's at least 3 active tornado warnings right now in Texas as we speak. You see that larger tornado watch there. Look at that. Look at this observation here. Consequent Field. I can't pronounce this. It's Corsicana Municipal Airport. Northwest wind at 38, gusting to 76. So this looks like straight line winds with these storms. Very powerful straight line winds. And then behind the front, you see these straight line winds continuing here with these. They're going to be high wind warnings in effect behind this. So, and you can see looking ahead of the front, look at how warm the air is at this hour. We've got temperatures in the 70s. Dew points are up into the 60s, even some 70-degree dew points colliding with this colder air that's coming down. And no wonder we're seeing all this severe weather that's going on right now in Texas again. Today, we knew today was going to be bad, and sure enough, it is. Looking at our area, we'll get to our area in a moment. First, let's go and take a look back at February here. And we'll go ahead and look at this. So let's see. We have a graphic that the Weather Service put up for February. And you will see the warmth for this month here. Actually, we'll make this, I think maybe you'll be able to see this a little easier here. Central Park, we were 41.1. That's 5.2 degrees above normal. 3rd warmest on record. Kennedy, average temperature 38.8. That's 4.3 degrees above normal. The 11th warmest. The high was 64 there. So we can see Central Park wound up hitting 70. LaGuardia, 40.7, 4.4 degrees above normal, 6th warmest on record, and they set an all-time February record of 69. Islip, 38.1. That's 4.8 degrees above normal. So the average temperature was 38.1. 4.8 degrees above normal. The sixth warmest on record. All-time record of 72. Well, Newark, 40.8. And of course, not surprisingly, New Jersey is the biggest departure. 5.7 degrees above normal. Third warmest on record. 70 degrees was the highest temperature reached, and then an all-time record at Bridgeport, also for 68 for their warmest on record, warmest temperature on record. 36.4 degrees, 3.3 degrees, 10th warmest on record for Bridgeport. So this is kind of incredible to see here, and I'll make this a little larger again, so you can see this if you couldn't see it before. Just quite incredible here. But look at the lows. So that Greenland blast, 3 degrees at Central Park, 4 degrees at Kennedy, 5 degrees at LaGuardia, Islip, 3 degrees. And that's the only reason why this wasn't the warmest February on record. It's because of that Greenland blast that we did have that kept it from being the warmest on record, warmest February on record. I have a feeling, though, there are some other sites that did reach the warmest on record. And we will go and look at the official climate data as well on this. So let's go to that. We'll look at this, even though that's a nice little graphic. We'll go ahead and we'll look at the monthly weather summary at Islip. So, okay, right here. All right, here we go. So, again, average maximum was 47. Normal supposed to be 41. 6 degrees above normal for the high. 29.1 was the low. Normal supposed to be 25.5. Average low. So 3.6 degrees above normal there. That's why the mean is 4.8 degrees above normal at Islip. And Newark. Let's go to the other extreme here. And precipitation also below normal at most sites as well. So if we go to Islip, you'll see precipitation. We got 1.62 inches of liquid, mostly rain. Normal is supposed to be 3.29. So even though we had a lot of days with precipitation, a lot of it turned out to be light. If we look at we had a lot of days with, you can see here, a lot of days with light rain. 11 days with light rain, in fact. All right. So that's quite a few days with rain and 3 days with rain. So you add it all up, it's almost half the month where we had rain. But it was light most of the time. And that's why we didn't see, we still wound up being below normal for precipitation. So Newark's high, average maximum, nearly 50 degrees at Newark. Normal supposed to be 43. That's almost 7 degrees above normal for the month. So 6.8 degrees above normal. So once again, New Jersey seeing the warmth more than anybody. So it's, pretty incredible. If we go over here, and we'll go ahead and we'll look at Philadelphia's climate data, because I'm kind of curious to Philadelphia. Let's see if Philadelphia broke any records here. Are there any mentions here of any records broken here? Okay. So let's see what we've got here. Here's the climatological winter statistics. I don't know why we haven't put this up yet for us, because climatological winter is over. But I guess we're waiting for a briefing from Upton for that. But we do have from Philadelphia, and you'll see Georgetown, warmest winter on record. Warmest winter on record. All right, so there you go. We're warmest winter on record at Georgetown. Philadelphia, fifth warmest winter on record. So they are 5.1 degrees above normal. Look at that. Third warmest winter on record at Mount Pocono. So you can see the warmth that they had here. You can see it was even more significant as we head into Philadelphia, not surprisingly, that it would be. But that's just for the winter as a whole. I'm kind of curious about February. So let's go to February statistics here out of Mount Holly. And you'll see here that, look at that. All right, nobody broke a record for warmest February on record. AC Marina came close, though. Look at these departures. 6, 7 degrees above normal. Reading. So Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Philadelphia, that whole mid-Atlantic area just got into the warmth. Because you got to remember that Greenland blast kind of missed them. So they didn't really get into it that much. And so, yeah, that's how warm it was. So a very warm month for February indeed. So let's go to the back to our weather service, and you'll see we have a coastal flood watch in effect as well. So let's go to look at the latest briefing for the storm, and then we'll go back to our current conditions because it's going to be pretty stormy come tomorrow night. Complex low pressure system. Obviously, the main issue, we could have coastal flood watch, 1.5 to 2.5 feet of water above ground in the most vulnerable coastal locations of Long Island, much of coastal Connecticut, Westchester, and the Bronx. So, yeah, we're going to have to watch out for some coastal flooding. You have to go way up north to get any snow. For the rest of us, it's going to be 1 to 2 inches of rain and winds gusting possibly as high as 45 miles an hour, perhaps even higher. We'll have to look at the models. This is, again, the snow is just going to be way inland, and all the snow is pretty much gone for the most part that we had already. And whatever ain't gone, like the piles, they'll be gone after this. So let's take a look at this, and you'll see, again, there's that coastal flood watch that we have in effect. Let's get these observations on the screen here if we can. That would be nice. Someone doesn't want to do that. We got the spinning circle again. Come on. Oh, there it goes. It's so slow. All right, 45 degrees at Islip right now. It's a pretty warm day today as well. So looking back again, we had another warm day. We got into the 50s. It was pretty mild out there, and you could see we had mist and drizzle up until around 1 o'clock, actually. It was lingering a lot more than I thought. And then it finally got out of here. And then we stayed fairly cloudy, though it's not showing the high overcast that we had. But you could see here, gusty northwest winds, but not really doing much to bring the temperatures down. It's still 45 degrees right now, which is, again, that's supposed to be our normal high. And we're still at 45 degrees at 9:15 at night. So that shows you how warm it is out there. And we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at our highs for today. And you'll see here, mid-50s. So it was pretty warm today, except the east end where the clouds lingered. And then mid to almost upper 50s as you head into Philadelphia, where it's almost 60 degrees there. Just ridiculous warmth going on across the area. So we'll go ahead and now I guess start with the models, I guess. So we'll go to that. So let's go to the models here, and you see what we got right now. So we've got this storm system in the south, this high pressure here, stall front. High pressure is going to try to build in, but that storm system is going to maybe see a little bit of sunshine in the morning, but then the clouds thicken pretty quickly. And then you can see how deep this storm system gets. It gets very, very deep. You can see that. Look at how deep it is. It's incredible. And because it's going to be deep, there's going to be severe weather tomorrow too. So if we go and we look at the day 2 outlook for severe weather, we actually now have an enhanced risk in West Virginia. So the severe weather will continue tomorrow from this storm system. So it makes its way into the Great Lakes. So we start seeing precipitation, most likely rain move in the evening. Starts off light. You can see that low. Look at all the heavy snow that's going to be north of that low there. Looks like in Chicago it's going to get slammed. They haven't had many blizzards yet in Chicago. It looks like they might get one finally. But for us, it's just going to be more rain. You can see the low, and then it's going to transfer its energy to a low that's going to develop like literally right over us early Saturday morning. And the rain may linger into at least part of Saturday. Hopefully by the evening it's out of here. Low finally starts moving away. Have a high pressure build in for Sunday, and then it'll keep the fair weather, and you'll see that change in the pattern as we head into next week here. And at the GFS, there's another weak low that comes around Tuesday, and that's going to bring in there's your blocky pattern right there. Look at that broad area of high pressure there that's going to build into the country. And you can see the blocky pattern. Maybe an opportunity for snow. Maybe. We have to see. But you see the blocky pattern and the airflow coming down from Canada. You clearly see that difference here on the GFS. Looking at the European. Keep it on here. Let's go to the European model. 12Z. Look at the 12Z European model. See how this compares to the GFS. They pretty much think alike at this point. Looking at the surface, it looks pretty similar. However, they diverge when we get toward next week. But you still see the block. You still see that blocky pattern. It's just a little different with the placement of the storms. But we've got a big storm to talk about as far as the immediate future. So let's go to the HRRR now and go to the 0-0 to the HRRR, and we'll see what's going to happen as far as. So most of your day-to-day tomorrow is dry. It's that high pressure there. But the rain starts moving in probably right around 7. The rain's been trending earlier now, it looks like. So originally we thought maybe it would arrive more like 8 or 9. Now it looks like maybe as early as 7. It'll start off light, but then it's going to get heavy as you get toward 9 o'clock. That's when the really and then the really heavy stuff comes in as we get toward 10, 11, midnight. You can see some really heavy precipitation there with this low pressure system there, and it's going to develop a low right. Yeah, it's a little slow to do it, but you see there's the low moving over, developing right over Long Island. That's the reason why we're not going to see snow, because the low is not developing far enough south. Otherwise, we could have possibly had snow with this storm system. You can see it tracks. It looks like they might get snow in New England maybe a little bit, but it still could change over to rain. And there's the low, kind of slowly drifting east on Saturday. All right, that is the HRRR. So let's go and look at another model here, the NAM. I'll use the NAM 12. This is the NAM 12. We have the 0-0 of this end too, so let's use this one. This is the NAM 12. A little slower to get the precip going, maybe a little more toward 9 o'clock. But you still see the general idea, that low, and then it pops over us. The second low pops like around 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, and then moves east. So let's go and look at the total accumulated precip. This is the NAM. So the NAM is giving us around 1.5 inches. Let's go to the HRRR, back to the HRRR model. So here's the HRRR, and again, that 1.5. I think most areas are going to see probably 1.5 to almost 2 inches of rain. This is going to be a real soaker for your later Friday night and Saturday morning. Luckily, it's overnight and not during the day. Otherwise, that would suck being out. But let's go now look at our dew points and wind flow. So you see the dry air coming in from the north there. Northeast winds becoming east by noon, then southeast by late afternoon, and then they start picking up in intensity, some pretty strong easterly winds. And you can see the moisture, actually, there's going to be some of that warm sector. It's probably going to hit Jersey. The warm sector may just miss us. We'll have to see. But if you're in Jersey, prepare for it to get a little humid before sunrise, the overnight period. For Long Island, we'll just have raw conditions with that easterly wind on Long Island. And then the winds go over to the west. They're still pretty strong Saturday. You can see that drier air. So that should hopefully shut off the precipitation. So Saturday won't be wet, at least during the day, at least by the afternoon. Looking at our temperatures. So here is the air temperatures. And again, you can see by morning we might get to around the freezing mark. And then tomorrow will be cooler than today. Probably highs only in the mid-40s, so cooler than today by a large margin, so closer to normal for tomorrow. Then you see at the onset of the precipitation, the temperatures drop, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to have us see any snow. You'd have to be north of the city for that. And then you see overnight, you see that warm sector going over Jersey where they could get mid-50s to near 60. We'll probably only be in the 40s, though it's trying to bring that warm sector into Long Island, maybe getting close to 50 on the South Shore perhaps. And then as we get into Saturday, you'll see it'll be pretty chilly, low to mid-40s behind that storm system there. All right. And if we go to the GFS, and we'll look at the GFS too as well. Just look at the GFS, and you see it's a general similar trend and agreement on the track of this storm here. And you'll see northwesterly winds for Sunday. And the Monday, you see that dry flow from the northwest there. There's that second storm for Tuesday. It would be our next chance of precipitation. And then we get into some dry air. But you'll notice no real Arctic air here. No Arctic air. But it will be, you'd see, generally speaking, well, it's showing some Arctic air toward the end there, right around March 16th. Interesting. So it is showing some Arctic air there. That's some Arctic air all the way down at the end. We'll have to see if that actually materializes. That would be really nice if we could get that to happen. So, again, looking at our temperatures, though, this week, nothing too crazy. But again, you'll see toward the end of the period as we get toward That's where it starts getting interesting, and that's where you start seeing that Arctic air as we get toward March 15th, March 16th. Look at what happens. That Thursday, we may not make it out of the 20s. That's showing some Arctic air right there. So we'll have to see. This could just be a fluke. Let me just go to the 12Z run. It's probably not on the 12Z. It's not on the 12Z. So don't get too excited. It'd be nice, but I'm not going to get myself too excited. It would be nice if we had some Arctic air, but it's not it's not that likely. But we will have below normal temperatures next week. So once we get rid of the storm, we'll take a look at the skies, and then we'll get back to talking about this storm here. So GFS actually showing sunshine by probably not Saturday, but Sunday we might have some sunshine, and Monday we might have some sunshine. Tuesday, obviously more clouds, and I'm not going to go beyond that. But it is showing more opportunities for sunshine finally, because it's, like I said, it's been pretty cloudy. RGEM, we'll look at the RGEM for skies, and you'll see here's the RGEM. Obviously, tomorrow you see the clouds increase you'll have sun in the morning, and the high clouds thicken pretty quick, and then we'll have the clouds around probably through most of Saturday, though it's trying to maybe bring a couple of breaks by the afternoon. Maybe some clearing skies Saturday night to Sunday. RGEM actually gives us a mostly sunny day on Sunday as well. So, yes, so that has changed from the forecast that we had before. So now it looks like we might actually get a nice day on Sunday. So that's good. So hopefully clear it out. So let's get back to the storm that we are going to be dealing with, and the rain that we are going to be dealing with. So I'm going to just bring this over to the NAM here. And we're going to look at some other things like FGEN. We'll go to the F850 FGEN, because you can see there's a lot of, look at all that lift there. My God, have you ever seen anything like this? That's a lot of lift there. So there's going to be, that's what I mean. That's where we're going to get some really heavy rain. Look at what the NAM is doing overnight. That is going to be, that's what I mean. It's going to be a soaker. It's going to be an absolute soaker tomorrow night. Luckily, it's in the middle of the night. But look at that, is incredible right there. That's an incredible amount of lift right there in the atmosphere, all right? Because because you have this very warm, humid air, the same warm, humid air that's causing all the severe weather, lifting up over this cold, cooler, drier air that's causing all this frontogenesis right there. That's incredible. Look at the GFS too. Same deal. Look at this. This is incredible. So yeah, look at that midnight. That is incredible. That is incredible. I've never seen the FGEN light up like that before. So it's going to be, there could be some localized street flooding as well with that kind of rain. We've actually been below normal with the rain. We could use the downpours, all right. So we had a dry February. January was kind of dry too as well. Didn't get a whole lot of precipitation compared to what we should have. Of course, most of that shouldn't be snow, but all right. So let's now go to... I want to do another setting here. Let's see if there's another setting we could use here. I don't know if this has it. Yeah, this has it. So this is going to kind of show you the moisture levels in the air. Here, right? So look at this. Look at that. So there you go. That's quite a bit. And you see, by Saturday we have the dry air coming in already. But that's incredible right there. I pulled this out a little bit just to show you. Eastern U.S. We'll pull this out a little bit. Look at this storm. Look at the moisture that it has to work with there. That's just incredible. So that's why we're seeing all that severe weather in the south. So we'll look at dew points. We'll load the dew points on here. We'll show you again. Look at that. So there, look at that. Oh, that humidity. I mean, that is quite a storm right there. So let's go back to the northeast, and we'll take a look at the winds on this, and then I'll look at a few other sites as well. So this is why we're a little concerned about the winds. So here you go. Look at those winds on the south shore, gusting some pretty strong winds there. I mean, that low is going to really just take off like no tomorrow. It's nuts. It really is nuts. And if we go to the country as a whole, and let's go to the west for a minute. We'll just show you what's going to happen with the snow here, because they're going to get more. There's going to be another storm. You can see another storm coming in over the weekend. And yeah, it's just after that, I think that'll be the last one that we're going to have, and it will hit a little further up, I think, this one. So this next storm for the west will be over the weekend. And you can see, though, it's still going to hit, and there's going to be some snow, more snow there. So you still a lot more snow. When you look at the total snow accumulation here, total snowfall, in these areas. I mean, you're pushing another 2-3 feet at least in these higher mountains. And the lower ones, you're pushing perhaps another foot or so. So this is pretty crazy. Just all this activity, all this storminess. And it's all because, again, we have warmer oceans as a whole driving this. So let's go to the Vent2 Sky site. We'll look at the winds on here. I'll look at the winds on the windy dots. Because it's going to be, again, tomorrow night, you're going to have heavy rain, but you're also going to have some pretty strong winds as well. So here's your wind speed on this. This is the Vent2 Sky. It doesn't look terrible. We'll go to wind gusts. This looks a little more impressive here. You had that overnight, the winds really start picking up here. Look around this area. Hazelton. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like there's like a boundary there or something. That could, I wouldn't even be surprised if there's some severe weather with this thing. I better look at the Cape as well. So here you go. It's already passed at this time, but we're very concerned about this area, this time period right here. Look at some of these wind gusts right here in the early morning hours, especially over the east end. 3 o'clock, you can see. Look at this. That's what I'm saying. 45 is being conservative. I think if you're along the south shore and the east end, it could be 50 to 60 miles an hour wind gusts. And look at offshore. Look at what this is predicting offshore. So this is going to be quite a storm that's going to get going here. Thunderstorms. I wouldn't even be surprised that there are some thunderstorms, actually, with this tomorrow night as well, with all that lift that we were talking about a few minutes ago with the Frontogenesis. I would not be surprised. It's not showing Cape, but let's go to lifted index. All right. It's not showing that much, surprisingly. Not showing too much. Showing a little bit here. Showing a little bit. I would not be surprised if there's thunderstorms that develop from this. I really would not be surprised at all. So let's go to the windy.com site as well. And we'll look at this storm on windy.com as well. So you can see here, as we get into tomorrow, you see those winds pick up. There's those colors there. These are just sustained winds. This is the European model now, showing the winds east at 31. This is sustained around 9 o'clock. These are sustained winds, all right, around 9. If we go to wind gusts, we got winds gusting off the south shore already up to 40. And then as we go toward midnight, that's when things are going to really pick up in intensity with these winds. And you can see here gusts over 50 miles an hour at the coast. In the middle of the island, probably still have gusts to 50. So there could be some power outages Saturday night into Friday morning with these winds. East End really going to get hammered as well. So yeah, this is going to be it's going to be pretty stormy overnight. Very stormy overnight. Heavy rain, wind, it'll almost be it won't feel like a tropical storm, but this is going to be a really strong nor'easter type of storm with rain. Imagine if it could have been snow, we would have had a blizzard on our hands, but that's not going to happen. So let's go back to Storm Prediction Center, and actually I want to go to the day 3. All right, it's not showing anything for day 3, but day 2 we do have. So severe weather again tomorrow as well. Moves east again. West Virginia, parts of Georgia, Alabama, western South Carolina, and western North Carolina. So this whole area right here. Look at that. It even goes up into the into parts of the Mid-Atlantic as well. Southern part of Delaware, Virginia. So yeah, this is what we're gonna have to watch out for with this storm tomorrow for sure. All right, let me just bring it over to earthnullschool.net, and we'll show you again why we're seeing what we're seeing and what fuels all this stuff. Because if we look at the sea surface temperature anomaly, you notice there's a lot of red on the screen here, right? A lot of red off. Look at all these above normal temperatures here, but also in the Pacific too, you'll see a lot of red. There's some blue here too as well. This is the fading La Nina here. But you can see a lot of red in the ocean. Look around Atlanta. And the oceans, by and large, have more. I wish this thing would have like a total anomaly for all the oceans, but I'm sure that there is way more above normal than there is below normal, and that provides the energy for these storms that you have. Warmer oceans due to climate change. This all, is all behind that. That's one thing, again, people don't bring up in the media. This is why we're seeing all this extreme weather. I think some more people are talking about it, but we're going to see more and more of this because it's just more fuel for these storms. And you can see the Gulf. We have Gulf temperatures that are ranging around 5 degrees above normal in the Gulf of Mexico. And that, that air, that warm, moist air is just going to be driven up into these storms as well. I just want to look at this for a moment. It seemed like we had air quality was not so great today. Let's go to that's the carbon monoxide. All right, it doesn't seem too bad now, but if we go back, it might have been worse. You see a little bit of elevated carbon monoxide over here. So this is a great site. It's earth.knowleschool.net. People ask me, oh, what are the sites you use? Well, there you go. So, again, big storm tomorrow night. Well, yeah, we'll have another weather update as it hits. But as far as enjoy the calm before the storm for tomorrow, and it's like I said, we have again this crazy severe weather going on here in Texas into Oklahoma. It's absolutely nuts here. This is really bad. It's causing a lot of power outages, a lot of straight line wind damage. We'll go to the latest on this as well. We'll go to the latest. In fact, we could just keep the highs on the screen here and just show you how warm it's been in the south and what's fueling all this here. Look at this. They had 80s, 86 over here. So 80s, really hot weather in the south. Again, it's only early March to be seeing this. It's quite unusual for sure. Is that right? That's got to be a mistake. 96? May not be a mistake. Oh, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's the crazy kind of heat. There's one tornado warning left right now. But you have a lot of straight line wind damage. Wind gusts here. I'll put wind gusts here. You have a lot of straight line wind damage. You saw what was going on earlier. So, it's just crazy. And you can see here in Chicago, you see winter weather advisories listed there. I'm surprised they haven't upgraded that to a winter storm warning, given some of the conditions they may get from this storm. But for the rest of us, it's going to be rain. And again, winter storm warnings up in interior New England there. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this weather update. Very active. It's going to be very active tomorrow into it was really active the active weather is just going to move to our area, but it's just crazy what's happening in the atmosphere. It really is. I've never seen anything like this, and we're going to continue to see these things and be amazed at how crazy the weather is getting. So that's going to be it for this weather update. Have a good night.